Hello, students. Wendy Ansley here, kinesiology professor at College of the Desert. I have with me a little motivational superhero here. His name is Hero, our little puppy here. And I want to share and welcome with you. I want to share a well-rounded sequence today. We will use the wall. We have a couple blocks nearby. We have our yoga strap near us. And I always call this opportunity the self-care flows. And these postures, again, are put in a sequence to take care of us, to make us feel good. And so that's what this flow is about. And I look forward to sharing it with you. I'm going to send off my little hero here as we begin our sequence today. And we'll first warm up together. Let us take a strap, or if you have a sweatshirt, right? If you don't have a strap yet, let's take a strap, a sweatshirt, some type of rope that you have, and I always kind of fold it in half, okay? And we're going to start at the edge of our mat, and I fold it in half, and I make it just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And so we're going to start warming up the shoulder girdle. We're going to take the strap back and forth. Good. The strap back and forth. So we're going to inhale, draw the strap up. Exhale, bring it back. We're going to do that several times. Beautiful. Awakening the shoulder girdle. Good. And we're going to take this strap back here, and you can feel the shoulder blades coming towards each other. And now we draw the strap towards us, and you feel the shoulder blades move away. So we're doing a little scapular retraction and protraction, but at the same time we're taking care of the shoulder girdle, self-care, and we are warming up. Beautiful. And now draw the strap back over. Let's do a few figure eights. So we're going to take the strap and we're going to do a little diagonals with the strap. So we're coming into a little diagonal. Beautiful. Awesome. Good. Beautiful. And simply, let's just hold, take the strap up here, and I just kind of want us to open our chest and open our heart just a bit as we prepare for the practice. Beautiful. We're going to set the strap down. We're going to get started with a few sun A's and warm up our lower back as well. Awakening through the four corners of the feet, Pada Bandha, awaken those arches, spread those toes, active legs. Tadasana, stand tall, stand strong, stand powerful. Inhale, we're gonna draw those arms up. Coming into a little lateral flexion of the spine, I'm gonna have you clasp around your right wrist, and I want us to shift over to the left, opening that right side body and almost drawing the left hip forward just a bit as we come into a little lateral flexion of the spine. Inhale, rise. Clasp around the left wrist and shift now over to the right. Beautiful. Opening that left side body, drawing that right hip forward just a bit. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come into a little dynamic forward fold. We'll heel and toe, heel and toe. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift, hands onto the shins or the thighs or the ground, gaze forward and down. Framing the feet, we're going to step back into plank where we have active legs, active core, active shoulders. We're going to stay here. Several breaths, gaze forward and down. core awakening here. Beautiful. Tap into that core. Beautiful Phalakasana. Gently lower. We're going to come onto the knees and rest onto the bellies here, onto the stomach in a prone position. I take my fingertips, my fingers out to the sides, almost kind of by the chest, but my arms are extended. I'm going to rest my forehead onto the ground. Just kind of reset here. And then I'm going to draw my right ear to the ground and draw my left foot up and over as I awaken the lower back. So I can actually get my foot to the ground as long as you come close here. And just breathe into a little bit of that release and that warm up of the lower back. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Gently reset, come back forward, forehead to the ground. Rest the left ear to the ground, draw that right foot up and over. And continue to breathe, inhale and exhale through the nose. Gently release. Come to all fours. Preparing for our practice, hands under the shins, knees under the hips. Tuck those toes. Inhale, tailbone is out. Look up. Drop the chest. Beautiful. Exhale, round the upper back. Draw the belly button to the spine. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Beautiful. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the upper back. Beautiful. Walk the hands forward a little bit. Let's lead with those hips. Come into our first down dog. Feet are hip width apart. Palms are shoulder width apart. Here we're going to press through those palms and draw length in the spine. Draw the shoulder blades down the back ribs. And let's firm those thighs as we stay here several breaths. Breathe into any stiffness. Any pain. Walk forward, walk the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, hands to the shins, the thighs, or the ground, gaze forward and down. Exhale, come into a little forward fold, hips over the ankles and the midfoot. Lengthen those hamstrings. Gently bend the knees, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, draw those arms up. Clasp around the right wrist, thumb and index finger together, and shift over to the left. Draw that right hip forward a little bit, and just breathe into that release of the right side body. Inhale, rise. Clasp around the left wrist now and shift over to the right, coming into that little lateral flexion release. Breathe into that left side body and draw that right hip forward just a bit. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Framing the feet, we're going to step back into plank. Core awakening, hands under the shoulders, heels over the balls of the feet, and draw the belly button towards the spine as we engage the legs, the shoulders, and the core. Beautiful core awakening. Strong, powerful plank. Ties into so many deep, deep muscles. Gently lower to the knees. Come on to the stomachs. Rest the forehead to the ground. Extend those arms out to the side. Come onto the fingertips. Lower the right ear to the ground. And again, draw that left foot up and over. Beautiful. Come forward. Draw that left ear down. Draw that right foot up and over. And we'll stay here about 3 breath cycles. Come back center. Come on to the hands and knees in a tabletop position here. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let's tuck those toes. Inhale, drop the chest, tailbone out, gaze up. Exhale, push into the ground, round the upper back. Tailbone comes down, good. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, tailbone comes out, drop the chest. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Beautiful. Come into just a neutral tabletop here. Walk the hands forward just a few inches. Lead with those hips into down dog. Feet are hip width apart. Press through those palms. We'll stay here several breaths. Breathe into any stiffness, any pain. For this next transition, we're going to walk the feet together in down dog. We'll do a few heel pumps. We're going to inhale, releve up. We come on the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels come to the ground. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. One more time. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, draw that left leg to hip level, one-legged down dog here. Kind of square those hips a little bit, almost rotate that left pinky in just a bit. On the exhale, we're going to draw the left knee to the chest, to the nose, almost round the upper back just a bit. Place the left foot next to the left hand. We're going to lower that right knee to the ground. We'll do 1 or 2 dynamics, and we're going to inhale, draw both arms up. Beautiful. Press to the top of the back foot. Draw length in the spine and breathe into that release of the right hip. This is often considered the most beautiful and most kind of courageous stretch we do in yoga. It hits everything. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, we're going to draw the hands to the heart and add a little twist. We're going to shift over to the right first and extend those arms from the center of the chest, breathing into this right hip. From here, we come heart-centered. And we shift now over to the left. Extend those arms heart-centered. Adding a little spinal twist. Come back, hands to the heart. Frame the foot. We're going to connect into runner's pose. The back leg is straight. We firm that left hip. Beautiful. Pressing the hands into the ground. We're going to exhale, come back into down dog. Feet are hip width apart. Press through those palms. Tailbone back and down. Beautiful. Shoulder blades down the back. Walking the feet together here. We're going to inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Heel pumps. 2 more. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. And now we're going to inhale, draw that right leg, one-legged down dog, up to hip level. Firm that left hip. Draw that right pinky toe in just a bit. On the exhale, we're going to draw the right knee to the chest and the nose. Dome the upper back as you place the right foot next to the right hand. Hands to the hips. We'll do 1 or 2 dynamics, and we're going to inhale. Beautiful low lunge, preparing us for our practice. Root through the 4 corners of the front foot this time. Draw length in the spine and breathe into that left hip, connecting the entire body in this pose. Hands come heart center. Lower them into prayer. Add a little twist here to the left. Extend the arms from the center of the chest. Beautiful. Breathe into that left hip. Hands come back, heart centered. Add a little twist to the right. Extend those arms from the center of the chest. Hands come heart centered. Beautiful. Frame the foot. Runner's pose here. Back leg straight. Hands press into the ground. Come into down dog. Let's do a version of down dog this time. I want you to bend the knees and think about drawing the chest towards the thighs as we come into a deep, deep stretch of the back without the hamstrings, though, coming into play. We'll stay here several breaths. Straighten the legs. Walk the feet towards the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time I want you to take those hands, Padahastasana, it's called foot to hand pose. Try to place those hands under the feet. It's okay if we need to kind of bend the legs to make that happen. And this time we're going to lift the hands. We're going to press the feet into the hands and see how I kind of bend my elbows. And I'm pressing my feet into the hands, but I'm lifting my hands and I'm just awakening my wrists too. I'm preparing my wrists. This is part of self-care, taking care of the wrist, but connecting our whole body into this foot and hand pose. One more breath cycle. Good. Gently release. Gently bend the knees. Swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart center. And I'm just going to face you here, and we're going to kind of set our intention for our practice. Often when I take care of myself as an aspect of self-care, getting rest, getting sleep, practicing yoga, trying to eat healthy, those are all important things, right? But also on the four corners of my mat, it's an opportunity to reflect within. And one amazing way to live your life is to be kind to yourself and to be kind to others with our words, our actions, and our intentions. Kindness to yourself, kindness to others. As we close our eyes and lower our head to our fingertips, I just want to take a moment and reflect upon how you can breathe into this kindness to yourself and to others through our efforts, through our intentions on this mat today. Gently look up. Beautiful. We're going to come to the wall here, and we're going to start with Malasana on the wall. So I'm bringing my mat closer to the wall. And on this one, the wall is there as a prop. It helps people that struggle that coming into this pose, right? But it also helps even the advanced people almost kind of come onto the wall and find a little bit of a prop. So here we are about 4 to 6 inches away from the wall, coming into beautiful Malasana prayer squat. The feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. We draw the heels in, the toes come out. Inhale, we draw those arms up. Exhale, we come into Malasana. So here, my buttocks are along the wall, my elbows come inside my knees, and I'm drawing length in my spine. And we're going to stay here a while. Beautiful. As we press into the ground, we continue to draw length in the spine. We broaden the collarbones. Elbows come inside the knees to draw length in the spine. Beautiful hip opener. We're going to inhale, root and rise. Beautiful. We're going to come onto the blocks. We're going to add a little upper body here. So we're going to take the blocks, if we have them, they work great. A little variation here. And the blocks are about shoulder width apart. We're going to press the heel of the hands on the blocks as we come into down dog pose here. Beautiful down dog. From here, we transition into plank. Active legs, core, and shoulders. Beginners can lower to the knees and come into partial chaturanga. I'll demonstrate that. More advanced can come directly into chaturanga. So I lower to my knees, I come into partial chaturanga, beautiful. And from there I try to transition from coming onto the tops of my feet, drawing my pelvis forward, shoulder blades down the back ribs, broaden the collarbones. Notice my thighs off the ground, sacrum towards the knees. Exhale, coming into Adho Mukha Down Dog. Beautiful. Stay here several breaths. Transition, we're going to walk the feet forward. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift, tailbone out. Exhale, come into forward fold. We're going to walk the hands over to the left here. And we're either going to, maybe if you struggle, you can place it on a block, right? If you struggle, we're going to walk the hands over the left. You can place it on the block and just feel this release of the right hip a little bit as we come into a little lateral stretch in our forward fold. Feel that release as we root into the ground with both feet, but feel that release of the right hip. Beautiful. And walk the hands now over to the right. Press into the ground. If you want to adjust and use a block, you can. Press, root into the ground with both feet and feel that release of the left hip a bit. Gently release. Beautiful. And we'll take both blocks over. We're going to gently bend the knees. We're going to swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Now we'll remove both blocks. Good. Extended angle, Utthita Parshvakonasana. In the old yoga books, ancient yoga books, they tell you this pose is amazing for preventing arthritis in the legs. We're going to start with the right leg first. And it's about one leg length apart. And the heel intersects either with the back heel or the back arch. We'll place the block either higher for beginners or a little bit lower here. Unless you don't need a block or don't have one, you can do the best that you can, right? And we're going to start with heel to heel or heel to arch. We'll start with Virabhadrasana 2. I want the knee pointed straight over the toes. We draw the shoulders down the back. And I want you to almost press that left thigh back. And draw that right sitting bone kind of back and in just a bit. Building leg strength. On the exhale, we're going to come into extended angle. Many of us, elbow comes on the inside. Isometric hold, 6 o'clock arms. And some of us, elbow or shoulder onto the block as we externally rotate that top arm, draw that pinky in, armpit towards the ears. And some of you kind of go a little bit lower in those hips. Beautiful. As we grow the pose from the back foot, through the hips, through the crown of the head, and the fingertips. Inhale and rise. Beautiful. We're going to go to the other side. I love it. Beautiful extended angle. So now the left foot is about one leg length apart, intersects with either the heel or the arch. We place the block on the inside. Knee comes over the toes, but the hips are facing the side. You feel this left hip opening and pressing that right thigh back. Arms extend. We gaze over the left shoulder. We draw that left sitting bone in just a bit. Knee tracks over the left toes. Press that right thigh back. Building strength. On the exhale, we draw the elbow inside the knee, stabilize. 6 o'clock arms. Have some room here between the torso and the leg. If we can, we come a little bit lower. We grow the pose from the back foot through the hips. Some of you lower those hips a little bit more. Come forward a little bit. Externally rotate that top arm. Elbow or shoulder. Isometrically against that left knee. Grow the pose and leverage the torso. Top ribs back. Bottom ribs forward. Inhale and rise. Beautiful, powerful pose there. Let's do a cleansing breath together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Awesome. Adjusting our blocks. We're going to make them shoulder width apart again. Heels of the hands on the blocks. We'll add a little vinyasa flow here. If you don't have the blocks, that's okay, but the blocks just add a little variety here. So we're in Adho Mukha, down dog. Breathing into the hamstrings. On the exhale, we'll transition to plank. Beginners can lower to the knees. Working on chaturanga, drawing your sternum and chest forward. Notice my shoulders are in line with those elbows. I gaze forward. Inhale, I press through the tops of the feet. I draw my pelvis forward. My thighs are off the ground. Sacrum towards the knees. I gaze up. Shoulders down the back ribs. Exhale, come into down dog. Stay here several breaths. Transition forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come into forward fold. Gently bend the knees. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Let's release the shoulders just a little bit here in our self-care flow. Sometimes I just really like to connect to my entire body before I sometimes come into some more advanced postures. So I'm about an arm length difference on the wall. And we're going to come into Anahatasana, puppy dog pose, but we're going to do it on the wall. So I'm going to walk my hands up just a bit, and I almost kind of puff out my chest a little bit and kind of stick out the rear end just a bit. And now I'm going to walk forward to the wall, and I'm going to bring my chest to the wall, and I'm either going to rest my forehead onto the wall for most of us and just press into the wall and draw the shoulder blades kind of down the back ribs and just breathe into that chest and that release of the shoulders. A few of us may be able to come a little bit lower. We can bring our chest and chin to the wall. We'll stay here several breaths. Gently release. Kind of shake it out. Sometimes I kind of neutralize it a little bit. I just simply come into Tadasana, extended those arms up, and almost posteriorly tuck my tailbone in just a bit, and just neutralize my spine sometimes from a deep, deep posture. Beautiful. We're going to take the block and we're going to prepare for revolved crescent moon. We'll start with the left leg out in front. This is a very challenging one, and not all of us are going to be able to do this. We'll have to come into some modifications. But now we did the opposite of the extended angle. Now we're going to rotate that back hip inward, an internal rotation of the femur head. This is amazing for the pelvic hip girdle as well as the thoracic mobility when we come into this little bit of a twist in revolved crescent moon. So we're going to start with the left foot out in crescent moon, one leg length. You either have the block higher or a little bit lower. And we're going to have the back right heel pressed into the wall. So we're in crescent moon. Knee over the ankle, heel onto the wall, leg parallel to the ground. Crescent moon. And I want a stable back leg. Beautiful. I'm going to adjust my block just a bit here. Stable back leg. So we start in crescent moon here. Now I'm going to draw the left hand on my left hip and draw that right arm up. I'm leveraging the rotation of the torso. Inhale, create length, draw that right hand towards the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to draw that right elbow outside of the left knee the best that we can. Beginners may lower the right knee to the ground, but we're going to try to keep that back leg straight. The next variation is, can I leverage my shoulder or elbow outside of the knee, back leg straight, prayer twist. And the next is to push into the block and leverage the rotation of the torso. I actually engage my obliques a little bit to lift my torso off the thigh, and I continue to draw top ribs back, bottom ribs forward, stable back foot, stable back leg, rotate that pinky inward. Beautiful, revolved crescent moon. Left hand on the hip, gaze at that big toe, press into the ground, root and rise. Step forward. Cleansing breath, inhale, exhale. Beautiful. I just want you to believe in what we are doing. Believe in the magic of these postures, the benefits of these postures. And again, we're going to prepare for the next one. The back heel is on the wall, front leg about one leg length. I'm going to take the block outside of my right foot this time. And I connect. Stable back leg. Beautiful. Adjust it just a bit more. I'm going to start with crescent moon. Right knee is over the toes. Back leg is strong, front leg parallel to the ground. Right hand on the hip. Draw that left arm up towards the ceiling. Leverage begin to leverage the rotation here. Inhale, create length. Exhale, I'm going to draw my left knee out, my left elbow outside the right knee here. Beautiful. And I almost lift those obliques just a bit. Maybe beginners can lower the left knee to the ground. I come into the prayer twist, back leg is straight. And then I might even grow the pose. Grow the pose. Come into that rotation. Top ribs back, bottom ribs forward, back leg stable and strong. Right hand on the hip. Gaze at that big toe. Push up. Yes. Step forward. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. That's a very challenging posture, but it really connects the entire body. And now we are really warmed up. We have warmed up our entire body. We are prepared to come into a little bit of a back bend. We're going to face this wall. We're going to come about 1 arm length back, okay? 1 arm length. Here we are. The feet are about hip width apart. I like to rotate my big toes internally. We're going to do 3 of those drop backs where we use the wall to push against the wall and leverage the opening of the chest and the heart, as well as compress the spine. And it's so amazing. It's so beneficial to move the spine in a direction like this instead of sitting and rounding the shoulders, what we do all day. This is age defying. Feet are hip width apart, 1 arm length distance apart, maybe closer, maybe a little closer if we're a little nervous, okay? And how we draw those arms up. Exhale, we push into the wall. We leverage that opening of the chest and the heart. Push into that wall. And rise. Cleansing breath. Inhale. 2 more. 2 more. Inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale. Drop it back. Push into the wall. Open the chest, open the heart. Inhale, rise. Inhale, create length. Exhale, come back. Again, push into the wall. Open the chest. Open the heart. And rise. Beautiful. Neutralize the spine again. Come back to Tadasana. Reach those arms up. Almost posteriorly tilt the tailbone just a little bit, the pelvis. And just draw length. Neutralize the spine. Gently release, heart-centered. Kindness towards yourself, to others. Again, we're going to come back to the wall here. And we're going to have a seat as we prepare for just a few hip openers. How we doing, guys? Many of my students love doing our pigeon figure 4 on the wall. So here we are lying on our backs and my legs are bent and I'm about, I don't know, almost half a leg length's difference here. So my knees are bent, my knees are in line with my hips here and my feet are about hip width apart. And I'm going to start with the right foot. It's a light little dorsiflexion. I awaken my arch and my right foot is on my left knee and I'm drawing my right knee towards the wall. That's opening my external rotators. And it's okay. I like to take a little bit of pressure and press that right knee into the wall there. Beautiful. It's okay to close our eyes. We'll stay here several breaths. throughout our breath, continue to kind of breathe into kindness and compassion towards yourself, towards others. It's what the postures teach us. And the other side, we're going to switch legs. This time, a little dorsiflexion of the left foot as we place it onto the right knee. And I like to kind of press a little bit here and draw my left knee towards that wall and feel that release of the left hip. Beautiful. It's okay to close the eyes and believe really in what we are doing here. Opening the external rotators of the hip. It's a beautiful hip opener. And now we're going to, it doesn't look like it because we're in a supine position, but we're actually rotating the femur heads internally. So we're going to come into frog pose. My feet are aligned with my knees, but my femur heads are actually rotating internally. And I'm trying to get the sacrum towards the ground. This is a beautiful hip opener. And we're going to stay here a while. And it's okay. Sometimes I take my hands and I kind of rest them inside the knees just a bit as I come into this pose. Frog pose, beautiful. Use the breath to come in even a little bit deeper in this pose, and we'll stay here another 10 breaths or so. Gently release. Beautiful. Kind of reset the legs a little bit. We're going to come up to the sides. We're going to prepare in the magical Viparita Karani. I'm going to get my mat a little bit closer to the wall. Viparita Karani is known as legs on the wall, active reversal pose. Again, many distance runners come into this pose to give their legs a little bit of regeneration, recirculation. It's healing, and comes from yoga. So we come with our sides to the wall here to help us get into it. And then we lift those legs up. We're actually stretching out the hamstrings when our feet are against the wall here. We're releasing the backside of the hamstrings and we're opening the torso. But more than anything, we're promoting recirculation. We're promoting regeneration of the legs. We're promoting healing. And we're going to stay here and just close our eyes and reap the benefits of this amazing practice here as we stay in Viparita Karani. Often the exhale is going to be longer than the inhale as we stay here a while. Beautiful. From Viparita Karani, I'm going to take you into a Shavasana. So we're going to come back a little bit and just find our Shavasana here. And I'm going to let you hold this Shavasana as long as you want, reaping the benefits of today's practice, recognizing that kindness starts with ourselves, starts with also self-care, kindness to ourselves and others with our thoughts, our words, our actions. Starts on this mat and we take it with us off of this mat. Letting everything go in our Shavasana. This is where I often relax my palms, relax my feet. Maybe take one last breath, long breath, inhale. Exhale, let everything go. Knowing that the light in me shines and I see the light in others. I'm just going to truly let everything go and you're going to hold the Shavasana as long as you would like.